Okay, so I'm coming to you a couple days later from my hotel at Boulder Ridge. I want to share a little bit about Space 220. Oh my gosh, I loved it. Okay, so first, have any of you gone to Space 220? Post in the comments. Let me know what your experience was like. I would love to know and let other people know in case, there's another viewpoint that would be helpful in people planning. All right, so let's get into the review. It was so cool. So it's a prefix menu at $79 per person. I did not see like a lesser price for kids. Let me double check. Okay, it's $79 for adults, $35 for children. And now here's the thing. I know that I say I loved it a lot in these videos, but I work really hard to curate my own travel experience. I watch a bunch of videos before I book anything and try anything. So I have a relatively good chance of having a pretty good time unless they're having an off day. And then because I worked so hard, I'm like, I know it's at least something I wanted to try, even if it wasn't amazing. So that's the reason why I say that. And that's the reason why I made this channel for other people so that you guys can curate your own travel experiences. I want to be a part of that community, bringing you helpful tools and resources and fun videos that help you curate your own perfect travel. So that being said, I loved it. I'm fascinated with space. I'm fascinated with the sea and space, like the deep, deep sea and the great, great space, the unknowns. I love movies and shows like Star Trek shows. I love it. Stargate is one of my favorite shows. I discovered it in my 20s and I love it. Many of the Star Trek series, I'll watch them. I'm going to watch Star Wars. I'm not going to know all the lore and all the canon of all the things, but I'm going to watch it. Deep space stuff really intrigues me. Space 220 is a restaurant that simulates you going to the Centauri space station. Have you ever seen, what is it? I love this show. I'm singing the theme song. Come now. I watch it all the time on Netflix. I'm blanking. Got it. Lost in Space. It's an old time movie. I love the Netflix show though. So they are going to Alpha Centauri. But anyways, this is called the Centauri Space Station, Space 220. It's right beside Mission Space at Epcot. And so you go and check in at this desk, then you go to this inside area and they give you a little ticket that is for the transport up through the sky into the space station. Of course, you're not going up into space actually, but they simulate it so well. So they put you in this round elevator and you can see there's a screen at the bottom and the top where you can see leaving the world and going up high into space. The elevator there's no feeling of vertigo or nothing. It moves so slow you can barely tell that you're moving. And but it looks like really crazy. And so then you get off and they already know that you're coming and whatnot when you've checked in, and they take you right to your table. I don't really recall seeing a lot of people waiting to get to their table. And then you'll see a line of people potentially who are like ready to go down the elevator. And so I ended up sitting this is one thing I really like. Sometimes when you're traveling solo and eating alone, they'll put you at like the tiny little uncomfortable table. But I had a nice banquette seating. So I had plenty of space, but it was high and I didn't really have a comfortable place to rest my feet. I didn't love that. But I had this whole panorama of the restaurant, and they have this screen where you can see the earth, and every once in a while you'll see a shuttle or a satellite pass by, or like, and the hostess who sat me said, just watch it because sometimes you'll see interesting things. And there are guys two astronauts play sword fighting with sabers. And then there's one where one of them was like skyboarding, spaceboarding, I don't know, like on a snowboard, but it was in space. It was super cool. It was crowded at the time that I went, so there's a lot of ambient noise, but the service was really great. It was quick. They checked in quite a bit. My server was really, really good. She was very knowledgeable, answered all of my questions. She was checking on me constantly, making sure I was taken care of. And I always appreciate when there's good service to a single person at a single table, like a solo person dining, because not a lot, but I've had experiences where people just didn't check on you because there's just one person. And so they're thinking they're not going to get a good tip. I try to tip really well. I know it wouldn't be as much as if they had a full table because, I'm just one person, but I tip great, and I'm just one person, so it don't take nothing to come and make sure I'm okay. So at any rate, the service was great. So first of all, for the theming and ambiance and style, 5 out of 5. Spoiler alert, everything is getting a 5 for this one. Just the setup, all of the seats were like kind of a dark blue, and all of the waiters were wearing dark blue. So it really hot, but it wasn't like moody, sad dark. It was kind of like what you would expect, I guess because of how I've been conditioned from watching space stuff. It was really cool. And so it really highlighted the screen that went across the whole entire restaurant. They do have a walk-up bar where you can join the wait list, but you got to book those reservations in advance for sure. I jumped on it the first day that it was opened. I've tried to book like 30 days in or 20 days before my trip, could never find anything. So definitely book it immediately the day you know you want to go. This is something you plan around on your trip to get to do it. The food was great. Actually, I said everything was going to get a 5. I'm going to give the food a 4.25. Okay. Here's why. Number one, it's a prefix menu. It comes with an appetizer, which is a good size, an entree, and a dessert. The appetizer, I had the shrimp tacos. That was like ceviche style. So it was cold shrimp and had cilantro and onions and a little tomato. It was really good. But the hard shell was a wonton hard shell. It cracked immediately. So I pretty much like ate the shrimp with my fingers and the shell, but it was very, very tasty. And then I had the filet mignon with mashed potatoes, and they gave me a carrot and veggies. The veggies were just like flash cooked in oil, it seemed like, or a butter. They had no seasoning at all. And I've had California Grill's veggies, which were fantastic. So I wish they would have put a little bit more into the veggies, but the filet mignon was amazing. It was so good, so tender, like perfect. And the mashed potatoes were quite good. The dessert menu just wasn't my jam. Like they had like a honey cake and they had a coconut something. And I ended up getting a chocolate cheesecake that had this like blue dome and some cookie crumbles around it. And then it had vanilla truffles, but the truffles were so cold that I couldn't get into them. And I don't like chocolate enough like that to, or white chocolate or vanilla. I don't know. They were just too cold and I wasn't just going to pop it in my mouth and eat it. So I wasn't a fan of that. And the chocolate was a little bitter and the dome of the dessert was a little too sweet. So it was okay. But I had a good meal. I was full. I was happy at the end. I just could have done with like, just give me a regular cheesecake or a chocolate cake with some ice cream, please. That would have been nice. Just a simpler, everyday Joe dessert and better cooked vegetables. But at the end of the day, like when I mixed the vegetables with, there was this red wine sauce. So if I had the veggie with the little bit of the sauce and the mashed potato, the greenness of the vegetable, the vegginess of it wasn't bad at all. Yeah, so it was quite comfy. Just because I happened to be at the banquet seating, I was okay, but I didn't like how I didn't have a comfortable place to put my feet. They were just hanging, but that wouldn't necessarily bother everybody. It just bothered me. And there was a seat. I could have sat at the seat, but then my back would have been to the beautiful. And the view was worth it. Like, I was just sitting there looking. And I had a book that I was enjoying reading, but all I wanted to do was look. Just look around and just stare at the screen. It was just so cool to me. I was mesmerized. And so the service was good and fast. I think I was in and out in about an hour and 15 minutes. And that was the perfect amount of time. Like sometimes I'm ready to go and I'm waiting for the server to come. But she came and got me. It was just very well timed. Very well timed. And everyone around me was having a good time too. The family beside me was trying to keep their kids quieter and they kept like looking over at me. I don't mind. When I come to a family place, I'm expecting kids to be kids. Like, okay, cool. But it didn't bother me at all. So yeah, I was having a good time. The servers looked happy. The people who were there looked happy. People were going and taking pictures in front of the screen. I wish I would have thought to do that. But sometimes when I'm alone, I'm like, oh, sorry. I'm still getting used to just, doing the thing. I have this mantra that I tell myself that reminds me like, hey, you're good. You're okay. But sometimes I forget to say it. Like with some places, like be our guest. I did that once. I don't have to ever do it again. And I've heard people say about like Cinderella's Royal Table. Once, never do it again. You know, it's worth it to try it for the experience, but don't come back for the food. This is different. I would do this again. I would make this like a once a year visit. Absolutely. I just loved it. I do recommend this restaurant. Ambiance, you get a 5 for the food. You get a 4.25 for the service. You get a 5. The cleanliness, I'm gonna give it a 5 as well. I don't drink alcohol, so I can't really go into the beverages and stuff like that. And because the lemonades are not like house-made lemonades, I feel like Disney could probably they use Minute Maid, and I don't know why. They could master a house-made for sure. I didn't just really feel like trying any of their special drinks, but I did see one that was like a mixture of lemonades and it had a little low cube, and I saw several cups of that being taken back and forth. So it seems like people enjoyed it. I don't know, I didn't ask anybody. But overall, wonderful experience, top-notch theming, top-notch service, very good food, but the theming and the experience of it made up for my particular meal this time. Next time I go, now that I've been and had what I really wanted, I might try something different on there. The salmon looked interesting. It's probably pretty standard Disney salmon fare, but I've liked salmon here at Disney several times, so I bet I would like it there. And I might try one of those cakes that I think I wouldn't like, but maybe it'll do me good. I don't know. So yeah, Space 220, definitely worth it. If you've been to Space 220, what is something that you've had that you really liked? What was your favorite menu item? And would you try it? Tell me, let me know. I had a blast. It was out of this world. So I love you guys. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.